Hello YouTube, this is Grubshard from SilverSkullGaming, and today I'll be doing a video on how to customize your game controller. This is only cosmetic mods, it's not performance based, but there's quite a few people that have asked me how do you customize your controller. First of all, I'd like to point out the shell which I'll be using. I picked this up off of eBay. I think it was like $30 or something. It's not too bad. It's not normal spray paint that they've used or anything like that. They've actually used a technique called hydro dipping. And, it's come up pretty well. The person that's selling them on eBay is Mercedes 0904. Clearing my throat a lot. The Y, X, B and A buttons I'm using are 9mm Luger shells that have been modded, which you can pick them up from the Green Zone eBay store or from their website at www.armymad.com. which in the kit of these it also came with a couple of thumbsticks and a directional pad, and in different kits there was different colours, and I went for green. I can't remember where I got the guide button from, but there's a guide button there. I'm using a brand new Xbox 360 controller right out of the box, and the triggers and the start and select button there were part of the kit, but it didn't fit in here properly. The controller just wouldn't close up properly with them in there, so I've taken them out and I've checked out this controller using some other spare ones that I have, and the official Xbox ones fit in there, so I'll just use the ones out of here. But I'll still be using the trigger buttons to show how to remove them and put new ones in. So that's that for this portion of it. Oh, also you'll need a Torx T8 screwdriver and a normal Phillips head from like a jeweler's kit or something. Right, I will remove that out of the box and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. In the back of the game controller there are 7 screws. I have removed 6 of them. The 7th one is located under this little barcode, so you'll have to remove that. Oh, he's having a bit of trouble. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so clumsy today. Okay, now I'm just going to zoom out a bit. To take the back of it off, it just takes a little bit of force, because this is a new controller. Yep. I was worried that was going to happen. One of the rumble motors popped out. At this stage, when you take the back off of the controller, you have the option of either keeping the rumble motors dangling there while you work on it, or removing them. For good etiquette reasons, I will remove the rumble motors, but all I'm saying is you don't really have to worry about removing them. They just take a bit of force. There we go. there. It's been a while. The controller sticks, they just slide off. There's nothing real special about that. The trickiest part, all of this is pretty straightforward, but the trickiest part is removing the trigger buttons. You need to put force across that way with your thumb and use a screwdriver, or if you have fingernails, use that to lift the other part up and push down on that part to remove it as well. Then from here, it's just a matter of getting it on the right angle, popping that off there, making sure the spring doesn't go flying off. Remove that. And then just wiggling it off there. And for the other side, it is the same. Didn't really need the screwdriver that time. Okay. So that's the triggers off. Replacing the triggers is essentially the same thing, just in reverse. There's a little, I guess you could say, spike. Well, it's not really pointy, but you get what I'm saying. In there that you put the spring over. Bring the spring forward. This part I'm going to need the screwdriver for again. Screwdriver underneath the spring, move it forward so that it slides over. Bring this up. Boom. That's the trigger. Ah, clumsy. Oh god, why am I having so much trouble with this today? There we are. Clumsy, clumsy day. Controller's sliding out of my hands. Way up. Okay. Simple as pie. Put these on while I remember. Doesn't really matter how these go on, just as long enough if you slide them on. There's only really two ways this can go, that way or that way. As I said, it doesn't really matter, just as long enough if you manage to slide it on there. Oh wow, these are a bit stiff. Having a disturbing amount of trouble with this. There we are. Okay. As I said, I'll be recycling these parts out of the controller. Top part of the shell. Make sure they're flipped around this way. And they should just slide on without any trouble. This way. Happy face design. And we'll just slot into place. With the chrome ones that I originally bought, there was big gaps in between here. From where all of these holes were a smaller size, and it was just bent a little bit more, which was a bit weird. So that's a good reason not to buy cheap Chinese parts for game controllers. I mean, there are quite a few good cheap kits you can buy from China and stuff, but avoid the chrome ones, the plain metallic chrome ones, like those. If it's a full kit, then sometimes the parts have smaller connection points or larger connection points or whatever. They're not really designed to be interchangeable. Yeah. Anyway, back into it. So, we've done that part. I need to salvage the back of the directional pad off of this. This is where you need the Phillips head screwdriver. Oh, shut up, my hand keeps blocking my view. Okay. Directional button. This is hard to do from memory. This is actually easy to do if you... Okay, I'm just gonna let the screws fall out of that. Okay. It doesn't look right. Apparently it is. This button kit doesn't have the clamp. Well, this directional button doesn't have the clamp that the official ones have, which is just a little clip system on the side of the points that you screw in. Okay, so the directional button's all screwed in now. It was starting to take a while, so I decided to cut that out. Right. Just trying to remember what I'm up to now. The Bluger shell buttons. As you can see, they've been cut down and then filled in with the correct fittings. Okay. Which one's this one again? This is the part I hate. Trying to figure out which buttons go into which areas because they're not clearly marked. I figure this is the last one that I try. Oop, dropped it. Okay, there we are. Oh, that's something I forgot to mention. Where is it? Ah, crap, I lost it. Oh, there it is. Okay, this is another bit that you need. I forgot about. It actually goes in, this area here. Take a little bit of force. Not sure if it's in right. Apparently so. Okay, it's where the Xbox Live Guide button sits in. It's the outer ridge area in there, where the LEDs shine through. Okay, ugh. So clumsy today. Yep. And these start and select buttons. These are the same buttons, so it doesn't matter which way they go around. It's always going to be that connection. For the select button, it will be that way around. For the start button, it will be that way around. Okay. Looks like we're almost done. And to put the guts back in. Reconnect the rumble motors. That'll be easier if it's actually sitting in correctly. As I said, you don't really need to remove the rumble motors. I just did it out of proper etiquette. It's actually more fiddly if you remove them, in my opinion. Okay. Where's the other one? There. Both in. And knock these rubber things out of the other controller. Almost forgot all about that. Got a bit ahead of myself. Just looking at the battery limit that I have for my camera because I was too lazy to charge it. Okay. That's all that done. Yeah, that could have caused some problems. Stuff the etiquette. Okay. That looks all right. Then, with putting this back on, go triggers first, go to the back of it, push the battery springs through, and you are essentially done. all you have to do now is screw the controller back together. I am Grubshot from SilverSkullGaming, and that was my video on a basic cosmetic modification to your game controller. Thanks for watching.